Don't be afraid of what people think about you, what you could miss and do mistakes. Don't be afraid about trying things. Be curious. Go and talk to people. Love people. If you don't love people, you cannot do this job for the rest of your life.
This is Unplugged, a series of conversations with creative minds from the design industry and beyond, hosted by H&H.
Buongiorno, welcome to another episode of H&H Unplugged. We have the great pleasure today to be connected with Tristan Auer, with us from Normandy. Good morning, Tristan. How are you doing today?
Good morning, everybody.
Tristan, we always start our conversation with a kind of personal questions, and we like to also to close it. How are you living the quarantine at this moment? Are you a creature of habit? How do you start your days usually?
I feel like I'm in the luckiest time of my life, because from the last month I'm in my beautiful house in Normandy. I just completed a few weeks ago after 1 year of heavy work, and I am enjoying it with enjoying springtime in the same time. Having said that, it's a difficult time for every reason that everybody knows, and I'm working like 10 hours a day. So I'm not an early bird. I like to sleep quite late in the morning, but I go to bed 2 a.m. in the morning. So and I split my time. I do what I just want to do according to my wishes. So I work, I stop, I have a coffee, I go outside, I trim some trees, I come back. So I have the chance to be able to adjust my day according to my need, which is very rare today. When you're in the office, you have to do that. I've got meetings every 15 minutes. Here, I feel I'm more free.
Yeah, so it can be also a positive moment for those reasons. Do you speak like every day to your team on Zoom, Skype? Are you using these technological devices to keep yourself connected?
Yes, I miss my team a lot. What you can complete in few minutes, the visual connection, you take a pencil, I'm very old fashioned, you take a piece of paper, you sketch for them. I cannot do that. So I'm very annoyed by all the Slack, the Zoom, the connection, the emails, the WhatsApp, the text messages. It's coming from everywhere. So usually I don't answer to any of them, and I do calls with my team, even if it's 2 minutes. Doesn't need to take like 30 minutes to say, okay, I'm doing something important. No, a few minutes, and that helps a lot the process. I'm not a very technical guy in terms of modern connection. It helps me a lot, but I try to avoid that. When I lose my cell phone somewhere in the house, I'm the most luckiest person in the world.
Do you think that this situation that we are living in now, like being separated and each and every one is working at home, what we call the smart working, is it increasing the productivity because you can be more focused now being alone at your place on exactly whatever you are doing in that specific moment?
No, I think this is the contrary. We are losing productivity. For one reason, it's certainly we are less focused on things, and we are waiting too much information from people which are not in the same room. When you're in the same room, you go, you say, hey, what do you think about that? And instantly you get an answer or no answer or a wrong answer, which give you the right answer. But when you send emails, it could be written in a half an hour, the guy think wrongly, answer back. So it's, no, we are losing productivity. It's why we need to work harder and longer during this period. And going back to the old world, we will need to work less.
And what about the creativity that typically is very much connected to emotions? Emotions now are different for sure. And creativity is also, it means also being stimulated from the surrounding, from the environment, from the people that you meet. Is your creativity being affected?
No, because I'm an old guy, I'm 50. So I learn how to manage to stimulate my creativity at the very highest point. But I agree with you. I'm missing all my elements, environment, materials, books that I cannot bring with me because we, as you did, we have to leave within 2 hours. And I need books. Internet, you cannot have the same quality of information that you find on internet that you find on books. I need some samples. I need some craftsmanship which is passing by the studio to show us new things. So I need this energy, and my team needs it as well. Hopefully, in a few weeks' time, we'll come back to normal life, even if we need to change lots of things in our way of living. We should have learned from this period that, I've got, this is a marine sweatshirt in wool that I've got from the last 25 years. I've got trousers that I went and buy to the supermarket for 10 euros.
Yeah.
And that's it. This is all I need. So I don't need more. I've got a watch which is from 1940s. And I could keep it for the rest of my life. So these things will create a big impact in the economy of the world, but we need to think about we don't need that much.
I think that even the dressing code might be affected in a positive way, I think, becoming more and more and more informal. In the next future, people will be absolutely accepting also to have meetings with you, with anyone in a less informal way, because all this situation is just bringing us closer and closer to a very informal way of living. We are entering now, we have the privilege of entering in a private space of yours, your house in Normandy, and we are in a position in a very informal way.
I don't wear a tie, as you can see, so I don't need to wear it during my normal life. I never wear a tie, to tell the truth.
Look, to go a little bit more into the specifics of your work, you call yourself, or at least I heard you in an interview, defining yourself a master, let's say, of non-specialization.
That's true.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that I am not able to reproduce one style, one thing that I've learned and keen to reproduce. I've got a very bad memory, so I forget instantly what I've done before. And I arrive as a baby in front of a new experience and a new project without any background. So I've got a piece of paper and I try to be fitted by the project, by the brand, when there is a brand, by the client and by the environment, to create something which is not new. Certainly it was deep inside me forever, but something that it's not, let's say, trendy, this horrible word, trendy or influenced by anything around me, which is not myself or what I've done. And this is a freedom for me because every project is different because every clients are different. And I learn a lot from the project, from my clients, and I'm enjoying that a lot. I don't freak out because it's the feeling could be, oh, this is something new. I don't know what to do. I need to find a solution that I never did before, never find before. This is what I am. And this is why certainly when the lockdown arrived, okay, I say, let's do it and we'll see tomorrow morning. I never watch the news because it's emotionally very, very high and it's just to make people anxious. I'm not anxious about what will happen the next days, the next hour, the next 5 minutes. And I never prepared for this next minutes. But I know that I will manage it. So in creativity with my project, it's exactly the same. And I claim the fact that I'm not specialized. So I can do everything. People can come to me to do, like yesterday, I've received a call. Oh, I've got an airplane, jet to do. I never done that before. Let's do it together. Yes.
You'll figure it out for sure, how to make it. Look, even though you are not a specialist, but I'm sure that you have your trademarks, signs, typical signs of Tristan Auer that you leave in each and every project. Can you put your finger on those? Can you tell us which are your trademarks or you don't recognize them?
Honestly, I have no idea. I've never looked back on what makes my trademark. I feel like I don't have it. During interviews, people could point where they are. and I'm glad they did, but I don't know what to answer to that. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to reproduce and, hammer the same trademark. And what I'm doing is not, my vision is not a commercial vision of my work. I'm selfish. I'm doing it for my own pleasure and for some clients, but not to build a business which is recognizable and could be sold in 10 years' time.
There is a specific thing that I would like to talk to you about, which is the car tailoring. I know that you are a big fan of vintage cars. Where did it start from?
This is a very good question. And today I cannot drive, so you can imagine how sad I feel. It started because I bought a car. I always enjoyed cars, and I bought a car which was the wrong color inside and outside. And I asked myself, it was in very bad condition. So why should I live in the bad taste of somebody else? I could have bought another car, yes, but I bought this one. So I need to refurbish it. And I asked to my friends, which have very high knowledge into classic cars and historical cars, what should I do? And they say, okay, keep it exactly the way it was originally. Because if you don't do that, it will lose its value. Okay, but I don't like this car. I don't like the way it was done. It was a Italian car from the 70s, sports car.
Was it the original color, or was it been repainted?
No, in fact, it was repaint.
Ah,
So when
okay.
I bought it, it was red because in the 80s, everybody's painted Ferraris in red to make it Ferraris.
Yeah.
And so because they told me, no, you shouldn't do your own things. Because what I do every day is I select finishes, details, and colors to create some harmony, which is very personal, which is something which is glamorous. So I decided to do that for this car. Everybody says, you shouldn't do that. That means that I should do that. That means that was a good idea if it's not a trend. So I started. It took me 8 years. It took me 5 years. And when I completed 2 years ago,
How long did it
sorry,
take? How long did it
5 years.
take?
5 years. Insane. I choose the wrong guy to be honest. Could be much faster than that. But I redo everything. Every single items screw was changed or renovated. And when I showed this car to my friends, we said, no, you shouldn't do that. They say, okay, you're right. And we want one for myself. And the funny thing is, today let's do things for ourselves, the way we think about it, not because somebody else is telling you, you should do that. Let's say, influencers. 100 years ago, it was not influencers, it was called dandy. And dandy is somebody which is building his own personality, doing things for himself, not to show to everybody, to the crowd, that they are doing wrong is doing well. No, because life is short. Let's enjoy moments of life. Let's take risk. Let's take the risk that people say, okay, oh no, I don't like what you've done. Okay, that's my car. It's for me. And so then I launched my brand, Car Tailoring, and it's growing and growing and growing. I've got 2 demand per weeks on renovation of classic cars and yacht and jets, as I mentioned, and all the small interiors. And nobody else is doing that in this world. I'm the only one. People used to do that before Second World War because that was a way to select a car. You buy a chassis, engine, and steering wheels, and you ask to the guy to do the shape, to do the interiors separate, and you customize it. But today, apart certain very high brands, but they are brands, so they label what they do with your car with their brand, and nobody else is doing that. So I've got the full market, and I'm doing that with my soul and with my heart, and with some specific clients that understand what I'm doing and ready to do something for themselves.
So we are finding maybe something where you are becoming a specialist.
Good one. But no, because each cars are different and for somebody else. So if you come to me and say, okay, I've got this Ford Mustang, I like only green, I will do it something for you. So
Very,
I'm
very
becoming
tailored.
you are the specialist. I'm not.
Yeah. That brings me to another question, which is about the process or your process of designing your projects, which is, as far as I understood, very much tailored to your clients, like an haute couture process. Do you think that it's possible to achieve the same level of empathy with your clients, with your projects, through means of a screen? How can you keeping yourself again stimulated for projects with such a long distance with your clients?
I'm very close to my clients. I'm listening to them a lot. I'm learning from them and try to react how we can react. Psychologically speaking, it's very important to be connected with my client. It's why I've got only luxury in my life is to be able to not choosing my project, but choosing my client. If it doesn't click with a client, I prefer not to do it. I know exactly what will be the reaction during the process, during the project, and I've got a lot of empathy for them. So it's only why I can have this haute couture approach for them and for their project.
I'm quoting yourself again. In another interview, you say that you don't trust what you like and you try to escape usually what you like to find another challenge, to be more challenged. We are living in a challenge now. Do you think that this will bring us any good?
Yes, we should always see the positive side of what we are living of this big crisis. Yes, when I say that I don't trust my taste, it's all about my taste only. It's let's not do things easily. Let's challenge ourselves. Let's try to be more creative. And this situation, this new world, we need to be creative. Politician needs to be creative and to find new way of connecting people together with this distance, new way of taking care of them if a new crisis arrive, this one or another one. So it's don't take anything for given. Just be open to react, to be smart, to build something, not just yourself, but with your friends, with your family, and to react to something strong and sad as we are living, which could arrive, could appear. And creativity, honestly, this is the main solution for everything. And most of people they just need to have the freedom to be listened and to express something which is new, think out of the box, and create something that it's a new solution. So people should trust themselves more often and not be afraid of trying something and maybe failing. Okay, I'm failing every day, doing wrong things every day, but I'm trying.
How do you think that the design, product design, because I'm sure that this period, this revolution, will have an impact on each and every form of art, including design, from the architectural scale to the interior design scale to the product design scale. Do you agree about that? And how do you think that?
I still don't know. I'm still thinking about that. What I know that is, I would like just to say that what is the difference between interior design and designers?
Mm-hmm.
And interior designers, to answer your questions, in interior designers is talking to somebody, to you, a human being which has a knowledge, which has tools, which has some materials, and can create one unique object or hundreds of objects. A designer is talking to a machine, a computer, which will process and eject plastic and produce thousands of objects. The new world will change because today I still can ask to my manufacturer craftsmanship, and still not today because it's my holiday today in France, but yesterday or tomorrow, we are still doing works in this house and nobody can stop us. But when you have a factory, and factory usually are in China, that has to stop because we are missing some petrol to do plastic. We are missing this, we are missing that. One small element could stop the whole business. And now it's very funny because China is not shut down anymore. So came back to their factory to produce ready. Okay, but they don't have any customers. They don't have any orders because we are shut down. So we don't need what they produce. So they start thinking, okay, we don't have money. There's a big crisis, unemployment in China right away. So people start to think, okay, let's not buy nice clothes and beautiful cream. I don't need that. Who's producing that? Us in Europe. So it's going to fail. The castle is going to fail more and more.
Yeah.
And that will be very interesting to look at what will happen the next 6 months.
To go back to what you were saying at the beginning, I think also that, if I correctly understood and if I give the right interpretation, the interior designer or the architect maybe has the chance to experience firsthand the needs and to understand the needs of his client, because he is speaking directly to the client, to the end user.
Exactly.
So the product designer has to forecast what the end user will need, because he is not talking to each and every one of them when he designs a lamp. He's talking to the manufacturer, and the manufacturer gives an interpretation of the needs of the end users, but no one is sure about that. So I think the product design scale is more challenging. There is no direct feedback about what you're doing.
No direct feedback. It's why you need to create a need, which is sometimes not a real one, and you put big layers of marketing on top of that, and publicity, advertisement, and suddenly this chair, which costs nothing, costs a lot because you need to oversell it. When you're in direct link, as we were 70 years ago with a customer, you can hear it, adjust it, and if you do a bespoke and made to measure, that's easy.
We are talking to some entrepreneurs like Salvatore, Giorgetti. I think that things will change also because in the last 5 years, we've seen throughout the digital market a relationship between manufacturers and end users getting closer and closer. So the companies and manufacturers, they are getting easier feedback from the market about their products, about the way they communicate the value of their products as well. So I think that in a way, hopefully, the market will change a bit about that, getting even closer and minding and pointing their fingers on the very relevant components of a product and a distribution, less marketing, as you said.
Yes, what we can wish and hope is that the client will understand the real value of a project, of a chair. You mentioned Giorgetti, the highest quality, the craftsmanship which is behind it. To then, when you go and buy it, understand first the value, the price, and not buy it without thinking very, very deeply. Do I need it? Do I really be bored in 10 years' time? Because it's so high quality, you're not going to throw it away or waste it, which is sometimes things you can do with plastics. And when you buy it very at a very cheap price, you buy without thinking, okay, I know I don't like it in 5 years' time or 2 years' time, 6 months. So when you buy things which are some meanings, some trends from a good company, you commit with this brand and with this object, and you keep it forever, and you transmit to your children's, and then the product is deeply impacted by that because the quality is higher, the varnish on top it's thicker because it will age more in a better way. So it will not age; it will have a patina, your patina, when you will transmit it. And I do believe in that. Hardly to raise the level of things, buy less things, but with more meanings and more quality. A sofa can easily, you can keep it for like 30 years if it's the right comfort and manufacturers of foam, fabric, easily.
So we are going back to the old days, to the way that most probably our grandparents, they were buying their furniture. Not all of them, they were sophisticated people that they understood the cultural reference at the back of each and every Cassina products, Poltrona Frau, or name any brand. They were buying really for the quality of the product itself because it was a durable product. to transfer that to the next generation and invest money once, a lot of money back in the time, but forever. Maybe you are going
forever, and maybe during the life on an object, you do upholstery like every 10 years according to the fashion. If sometimes you want to have flowers, you put a throw on the couch to have flowers. So I've designed my way of designing is more into that, is to how to dress furniture to be able to change during maybe 2 times during one season, or during sometimes you want some fresh linen with fresh colors, like celadon colors on the sofa or on the chair. And during winter time, you want a heavy cashmere brown and cozy and warm. So I'm working on that to keep the same shape, same object, but dress it in a very easy way, the way you can change your clothes and change totally the environment and the feel of a room with few pieces of fabric, only that.
That's very interesting. That's an interesting experiment. I saw on Instagram that you put a sketch a few days ago of your new dining room. Are you working on your house? Do you see your house with different eyes now that you are spending more time there?
Yes, I bought this house 1 year ago. The house was totally full of objects from the story of the old owner, and the house was not touched for the last 25 years. And I bought the house with everything inside, every single object, books, even photography books, chairs, silverware, plates, and I rearranged everything. First, I did insulation, paintings, electricity, and I just rearranged things. So I'm living in the house of somebody else, and I'm putting my layers of like love, let's say love, in this house, but I will transmit it to somebody else in few years' time. And so I'm living a large dining room, which is not my, let's say, my taste, doesn't mean anything, but it's in phase with the environment, the land, and where it's located in Normandy. And I'm really enjoying that. And when I said previously that I shouldn't trust what I like, I put some plates on the wall, which are from the 19th century, which is something certainly that I would say I hate 10 years ago. And now I love it so much. And my apartment in Paris is very different from this house, but it's on purpose. It's to live in a different way and different things, and to eat different things as well. There is a lot of cream in Normandy. We just put creams all over the dishes, which we don't do in Paris. It's just to open your brand and live something different. This is really a holiday time when you go to one house to another one.
What's the point about that? Do you think that an interior design should maybe is not the right thing, because there is no should and should not. But the interior design usually reflects the personality of the person, or a mix of the personality plus the environment which is surrounding. You saying that your apartment in Paris is very different from your house in Normandy, because I think there is an influence in Paris about the environment, the surrounding, and in Normandy as well.
Yeah, I think that from my side, I like to be influenced by the environment. So when I did this house, it's not me. There is fish and hunting heads everywhere. This is not me. I'm not fishing. I'm not hunting. But this is what I enjoy, to live a different experience while I'm here in this house. So influenced by the surrounding. For me, it's important, really important. And to put my touch, yes and no. I'm not sure. I like stories, and I build stories in every project. And I just continue the stories of this house. I put some, you don't see on the screen, but some yellow curtains, because this living space is full of sun, and it asking me to put yellow. So I'm just listening the house, what it tells me to do and not to do, to reinforce, to enhance the pleasure of living in this house. And even the space between objects, if you push it by 5 centimeters, it doesn't work, or it works. So I'm very conscious about that. And And you know, there are interior design, which is managing the flow, the spaces, connection between one space to another one, and there is decoration, which is just the colors and finishes, and this is magic. With just only that, you can change the full environment, and you change your mood as well.
I agree completely.
So it's a therapy.
Yeah, it is, exactly. Is there any advice that you would like to give about not to do or to do it, but better or more, to a young Tristan Auer that you might have in front of yourself today?
Yes, there is only one thing that I believe it's important, and that helps me. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of what people think about you, what you could miss and do mistakes. Don't be afraid about trying things. Be curious. Go and talk to people. Love people. If you don't love people, you cannot do this job for the rest of your life. Try to do the best, and don't have any fear. Fear, that is the worst in our world. And if we remove this sentiment, world will be better. So let's be generous as well. Do more things than that you are paid for that.
Tristan, we always like to close our conversation with this question. What will be the first thing that you will do once this quarantine is over?
I don't miss a lot. Yes, bring my friends in my house to share it with them, and this is already planned. Believe me, I've got we've scheduled, because we have 8 rooms. We schedule our friends and family to come here and to discover the house and enjoy it with them. This is definitely the first thing that I wish.
I wish you it will happen very soon. You will have very soon the chance to do it. And thank you very much for the time you dedicated to us, for the time we spent together. It was very interesting. Thank you. And we all hope to see you soon, maybe in Dubai.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your very elevating and clever questions. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye, Tristan. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.